Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Claws Season 2, Episode 3. We start off with Dean talking about, he's telling Desna that he wants to dance. He wants to be a stripper. He wants to shake that body because he has been working out. We know he can dance, and he has a big implant too as well. And so Desna is not really trying to hear it because Desna had a nightmare, and she had a nightmare about her new boyfriend, Dr. George, because the nightmare is going to be reality when she finds out what type of man he is, that he's really actually a drug dealer. He's a drug kingpin, and he's actually been working with Uncle Daddy for a long time, and he's trying to smooth his way in with Desna to move in on the business or whatever. So he knows exactly what she does for a living, but Desna doesn't know what he does for a living. So they are going to get onto this yacht, and we find out the yacht belongs to Dr. Gregory's mother. So Desna, she's actually telling, Dean, I don't want to talk about this right now, chill out. So they get onto the yacht, and the mom, which is Dr. Gregory's mom, she's a famous actor. I can't think of her name right now. And, she kind of gives Desna that, look at her up and down, whatever, and then wheel off her way because she's in a wheelchair. And so then now they're getting ready to sit down and have dinner. And it's like 3 other little young girls. They're almost like the young girls that Desna had to dream about. And they're sitting at the table, and Desna's trying to talk to them like, hey, because she finds out that, they're orphans and things like that. Dr. Gregory and his mom, took care of the children because they have no family. So Desna was like, yo, let me take you guys to my shop. Let me take you to my place of business so I can hook you up or whatever. And the girls don't say anything. And then Dean was like, oh, they're mute. Something's wrong with them. Maybe they got a disability too as well. And then Dean jumps in and was like, we don't have any parents either. Our parents were drug addicts and stuff like that. Dean is just telling all the business. And so the girls are just mute. They won't talk to her because they were told not to. And the girls, they might even be captives or might be slaves, who knows, or being abused too as well, or maybe they was told not to talk to Desna and Dean. So we get to the conversation where Dr. Gregory is actually feeding his mother a strawberry, and she's acting like she's having an orgasm off of it. I was like, something's wrong with this picture. Is that really his mother, or is that the woman that is supporting and funding him, and they have a relationship, but she's allowing him to do business with Desna to play along with his game so they can get the money, and all the money, and they can move into that area and take over the drug business? So I don't know, because I know back in the day there used to be a lot of guys that were from different countries, different African countries, and they was dating women here, and they were bring the women to meet their children and everything, but they was married and they were just trying to get their green card. This was like maybe 4 or 5 guys that I knew, or women that were dating these guys, and it was like, and then they come to find out at the end that the guys were married and they was just looking for their green card, but they would bring the children around the women, and then the women was okay with the guys dating my friends or whatever because they wanted to get citizenship. But my friends found out later on. But the wives, they would say that the wives was their cousins, their sisters, their friends. So I don't know if this is that type of situation on the show. But this is like back in, like the early 90s or whatever. So moving on from that, I was like, what is going on with that? So then Desna and Dr. Gregory, they started kissing. The mom flips out. She was like, she doesn't like public affection or anything like that. She locks herself in the bathroom, and Dr. Gregory has, Desna over there apologizing to the mom, talking about how special is, she's the number 1 woman and all this other stuff. And so the mom comes out the bathroom. She was like, I used to be his number 1. I was like, come on, that's way too much. I does not dump him, move on. He ain't about the business. He ain't no good. Like, shit. Mama's boy, no, please, see you later, bye. And so I'm like, damn, is he sleeping with his mama? Is that really his mama, or that his wife? That's his wife. And then his kids that he's trying to talk about an orphanage or orphan. So I don't know what's going on with that situation. So we got Rolla. Rolla is with Uncle Daddy. They're doing their runs, whatever. But Rolla is still in love with Desna. But he sees Desna early in the episode, and he was about to tell Desna about Dr. George Gregory, about how he really is. But he knows he can't really do that because it's going to explode everything. It's going to mess up their plan. But he wanted to tell her because Rolla is still feeling Desna. He wants her back. Well, he should have treated her like he's supposed to treat her. He cheated on her. He cheated on her with Virginia. He did her and had a baby on her. Did all this other stuff. But now his his heart belonged to Desna. When he had her, he didn't treat her right. So, but they did have good chemistry when they was on the when they was together dating, and so Uncle Daddy, he's just like, he's trying. He knows that now he's told by the Russian lady, Zeta, that he has to give her all his contacts and people that he works with, so he's gonna give her a chip, and so Uncle Daddy wants to kill the Russian lady. He wants her dead ASAP. And so we have Polly. She is concerned about her little daughter that she adopted, because she ain't trying to show her no love or whatever, because now we have Jennifer. She comes into the shop. She hasn't changed. She hasn't got dressed. She's struggling not to drink alcohol, so she finally comes into the shop and she tells the customers what went on, that her mother was almost giving her husband a BJ. Everybody's like, what? Whoa. And so she's like out of it. She can't really do nails. She can't really work, and she's just, because she lost her husband, because she was cheating on her husband, and the husband saw the videotape of her having sex with another man. So I'm just like, Bryson's upset. Bryson don't want nothing to do with Jennifer. He's just too through. And plus, he has to walk by, Bryson has to walk by the guy's office at his dance studio every time he goes back and forth to the salon or to the doctor's clinic. So that's some crazy shit right there. And then what was funny was seeing Ken working with this older woman, talking about her vagina hurts and it's been hurting for like 65 years, and since she gave birth to her son. I was just like that, and he just looked like, I don't know. And, Dr. Ken, he's always high. He's always messed up. And so the situation, so now they're getting ready to have this thing go on. They're going to have a debate inside the shop. It's going to be between Bryson, and it's going to be between, Jennifer, having this debate about their relationship, trying to see if there's still any love there, if they can still get with each other, they can still have a relationship. But Jenn, she messed up and she knew she was wrong. She cheated and she had a romantic relationship, even though she had some good points when she was saying, well, Bryson's not a good father, a good parent. Bryson, killed people. He was selling drugs. And then on top of that, he's not a good parent. He was doing all other types of stuff that she didn't know about, but she had a full-fledged affair with this guy dancing for a long time, and that's hurtful. And plus, she already cheated on Bryson because she has a black child, a black daughter. So, and he took that daughter in like it was his, and he still has. So, he was like, yo, listen, he said something to her that, she'd been licking everybody's box or whatever, her box is used up or something, he said to her, and they started arguing, and here comes Desna comes in. She's feeling a certain type of way because of Dr. Gregory, how he was with his mother. She's feeling something weird, and she's about to just drop him like a bad habit. And that's when Zeta comes in, and she was like, oh, so that's what's going on with your personal life, that's what's going on with Dr. Gregory, he's a mama's boy, will bring him to my house. Desna was like, yo, listen, I don't want you in my personal business, lady. And so she brings him over there. But I think Zeta, she knows something about Dr. George, or she's going to find out the information that he ain't no good, because Zeta is all about women power, and she's also empowering, Desna, trying to give her, like, she deserves to be on top. She deserved more money. She deserved that big mansion, because you remember Desna thought she needed that last season because she was doing so much work for Uncle Daddy and Rolla, and they wouldn't pay her or give her money or anything like that, because she wanted to open a brand new salon. She wanted to move out of that house that she was living in, but they were shortchanging her. But now Zeta, she moved into the mansion that Jennifer lives in, but she didn't want to kick Jennifer out. So Jennifer and her kids, and now Desna and Dean and Virginia lives there too. And we got Virginia. She's going to be marrying Dean. I don't know how that's going to work out, but love sometimes conquer it all. And so, Zeta, the Russian lady, she's really been empowering Desna, letting her know how appreciative she is of her, how smart she is, and how she controls everything, how like she's the boss, she's the brains behind the situation, behind all the business with Uncle Daddy and Rolla and Bryson. And that is very true. So she's giving her the empowerment, and she really likes Desna, and she loves that little black power with Desna. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But I think Zeta's going to do some information to find out what's going on with Dr. Gregory. So that should be interesting. We'll see what happens with that situation. But Dr. Gregory, he's kind of cute and kind of not cute, but he is really playing the role. And if he's married to his mother, or he's been sleeping with his mother, is really his wife or something like that, that's going to be crazy. She's probably the kingpin, and she's probably the one with all the money. So moving on from that, You got Dr. Ken, Dr. Ken with that elderly lady in there talking about her vagina was really funny. And then you have, Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy's in his house, doing it with his boyfriend or whatever, like tied up in leather and and then, getting whipped or whatever. And Zeta, she walks in, she takes a picture, and she was like, I want to know I want to know all your contacts is. I want to know everybody. I want to know everything. I want to do business with them or whatever. He doesn't want to tell her, but he does. He gives her a chip. And so now we get ready for them to have the dinner. And when they have the dinner at the house, it's kind of crazy because Uncle Daddy's there, Rola's there, and they know who Dr. Gregory is, and he's there. He's looking around, and it's funny how Rola's was with his baby's mother, his wife now, and she comes over there and she tries to assault Desna, like, oh, I'm so glad you found love at your age. And so Desna was like, well, a relationship without love is hard. And I was like, oh shit. And so then the Russian girl was like, oh, but we have a baby, so she threw the baby shot in there. And so, Zeta, she meets George and she talks to him and things like that, but she's trying to get Desna to have dominance, be dominating over the guys that are in her life. So we'll see what happens with that situation. I'm just like, damn. And so then after that, they're having dinner, everything's going well. Dr. George, he gets up and he leaves. And so that's when Zeta, she tells Uncle Daddy to get on his knees. He was like, hell no, I ain't getting on my knees. I ain't getting on nothing. And they force him on his knees. And she says, lick my boot. And she starts to whipping him with the same whip that his boyfriend was whipping him with. And so then, he's sitting there and blood's coming out of his mouth and he has to lick her boots. She's making him bow down because Uncle Daddy was a mean, dirty, low down motherfucker, especially to Desna. And, and he shot and he killed people. So now he is reaping what he sowed right now. And Rola's so upset he can't even watch because he's seeing his Uncle Daddy go out like a PUSS, seeing him going down. And so then we get back to Jenn. Jenn's at home and we find out she hid alcohol in her toilet because she has an alcohol problem and she suffers from alcoholism. Nobody wants her to drink again, but since her and Bryce has broke up and he ain't even trying to come back home, that she has liquor in the toilet, and so she pulls it out the toilet, the part where the water's at and shit like that. And then she sticks a tampon inside the alcohol and then puts it up her vagina. Like, where they do that at? Please, nobody do that. That's like so nasty. I was like, damn, didn't that shit burn? Don't that shit hurt? But I guess it gives you a high because it goes right into your bloodstream. And so she end up drunk. Bryson tries to drop off the kids and he realized that Jenn is drunk. She was like, smell my breath. Of course her breath don't smell like alcohol, but her coochie does. And so he takes the kids and he was like, you're not gonna have the kids. And she was like, no, I'm gonna take the kids tonight. He was like, I'll call DCYF. Why would you call DCYF? Because she is drunk. And so Jenn was like, Dean's here, Virginia's here. And so then so Bryson takes the kids and she starts to cry and she's feeling bad because she slipped again. See that tampon? She's stuck in a bottle of alcohol and put that in her vagina. Crazy. And also I like the way the Virginia dressed. She's all stylish and colory, and Polly's too much with her stories and her antics. But her daughter, that her adopted daughter she got now, is following behind the Muslim. She's listening to Farrakhan and all this other stuff. So we only know what's going to happen with her because she's trying to hook up with a black man. So she's following all the religious steps. I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. And Polly she was like, oh, so the adopted daughter was like, so Polly, you didn't tell me you had a sister. She was like, yeah, I got a twin sister or whatever, but we don't talk. She's in Arizona somewhere. We ain't got nothing going on with each other. So we'll see what happens. But it seems like Dr. Gregory, he's going to be blown really soon. And how much more can Uncle Daddy take? How much more can Rolla take of this situation? Because they're riding around and hoopties. They don't got them flashy cars no more. They live in Brooklyn now. So peace and my one love. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Be greatly appreciated.